Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ram Surat
Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ram
Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. भगवान श्री योगी राम सूरत कुमार की जय। सर्वं योगी राम सूरत कुमारार्पणमस्तु। So before we submit our evening prayer, we shall see how our Nama Sankirtan pleases Bhagavan. So much so that the devotees sometimes witness Bhagavan happily dancing about and blessing people. This experience has been happening to some of the people in the ashram, even though we do not share it easily with people. But I came across similar experiences from some devotees. I was transported to another world when I read that. I would like to share some of this with you people so that we would know how much Bhagavan is pleased and how much he is blessing all of us. At one time, after Samadhi of Bhagavan, some people had come from Andhra Pradesh. They were all devotees of Sri Avadhutendra Swamigal. Some 65 men and women, all devotees, had come to Tiruvannamalai. They came to our ashram. They wanted to do Arunachala Shiva Mantra and also Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. And after coming here, they saw how much we are chanting Bhagavan's Nama, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. So they offered to do that also. They wanted to do Nama Saptah. Aதாவது 7 நாளைக்கு 7 days they have to do this Nama Sankirtanam. In fact, they extended 2 more days and they stayed for 9 days. And after that, there was one particular devotee, a lady devotee, who was very enthusiastic, very ecstatically singing the name. And she used to come to us, hear stories about Yogi Ram Surat Kumar Bhagavan. She was very much drawn to him. So other times she would dance and sing. But after 2 or 3 days, she fell sick, developed fever, a very high fever of 105 degrees. She was unable even to get up. And naturally, she was in abject misery. And then she began to appeal to Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, chanting his name. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, I have come to your feet to do the singing of Nama Sankirtan which you advocate. See what has happened to me. I am unable to get up. I want to participate all these days singing your varied names. They are also your names. I want to sing them all and dance. But just see in what pathetic condition I am in. Please do something. Please cure me out of this so that I could joyfully join once again And if I don't deserve this kind of grace from you, you can still do something for me. You can take me upon your feet. Let me come to you. I would like to die and be with you. Please do that. And she was crying her heart out, begging, praying, and chanting his name as much as she could. And then, after a few hours of crying out, suddenly she saw Yogiram Saratkumar Bhagavan appearing before her, sitting by her side with such tender expression of love on his face. And then he started to fan her. He was fanning her for some time with such radiant joy on his face and a tender expression of love. And then he disappeared. The next day morning, she had no idea when she fell asleep, but when she woke up, there was no fever, there was no weakness even of fever left. And all she could feel was such flow of energy and enthusiasm. She got up, she very cheerfully began to participate in the Nama chanting, and she went around telling us all. And I happened to read it again after a few years now, and I felt equally ecstatic when I read that. And of course there was another devotee who also shared his experience. He said that when we were all singing Yogiram Saratkumar Nama the last few days, when they were here, he saw literally Yogiram Saratkumar sitting by his side, clapping his hand to the tune of our singing, so happily that he was so scared even to turn around lest he should disappear. He said, I saw it with my eyes. Bhagavan sitting by our side, clapping his hands and singing with us, and seeing every one of us by way of blessing. And there was a third man who also reported something like that. He said, I too have had such an experience, and I can vow for the truth of it. This is Satyam, he said, that we were all singing his Nama together, happily, cheerfully, ecstatically. He saw Yogiram Saratkumar going round and round all of us, dancing sometimes, and sometimes raising his hand and blessing people. It is happening even now when we are singing. Sometimes you can really see him walking about, blessing people or dancing. You believe it or not, it's a truth. And so let us remember this every time we sing the name together. He is very, very happy, dancing ecstatically and blessing every one of us, blessing our prayer also. So we shall submit our prayer. Bhagavan, beloved Bhagavan, Bhagavan's Divya Nama, Yogiram Saratkumar, we have been chanting twice a day with all of us together. Of course, other times the Nama is going on in the ashram. But these are the two times all of us gather together to chant this powerful, tremendous, divine Nama. Once, one Usha Jayakar, a devotee of Bhagavan, had gone to Sanadi Street house. She, being the wife and mother of a household, was naturally worried about some of the problems. At that time, pat came a declaration from Bhagavan. He said, when there is Nama in the heart, when there is nama in the mind, why should there be worry? As though the worry and nama cannot exist together. Which means we have to convert every worry into a nama. The nama is self-fulfillment. The nama gives us a feeling of fulfillment. There will be no more complaint in the mind. So this is how they have all, Bhagavan and saints had always chanted the name. They had the sense of fulfillment all the time. There was no room for any worry or agitation. And nama would do everything that is needful. There's another story about people who belong to another religion but taken to Yogiram Suratkumar Nama chanting with faith. They could not think of any other God, any other name. Now this family of Purush Siddhwa, Parsi people, they are living in an apartment in Bangalore. When Mr. Siddhwa had gone out to another place, Pune, his wife and children were staying alone in the apartment. And the night they had gone to bed. Early morning, 5 o'clock, when Anahita, Purush Siddhwa's wife, got up, to her horror and dismay, she found the whole house filled with the gas, the cooking gas. She knew suddenly, only the day before, a new cylinder had come, and the cook who came the previous day evening had left it without closing. She was horrified, and she remembered suddenly, next to the kitchen is the puja room where the lamp is kept burning all the time, all the 24 hours. So she rushed there, and to her absolute delight and relief, the lamp was still burning, and the lamp and the kitchen cooking gas did not connect. You see, there is no door to the kitchen. Adjacent to the kitchen is the puja. How could they not connect? The whole place was filled with the stench of this gas. And there was no explosion. And the lamp was still burning to the relief of everyone. So this is Yogiram Saratkumar. His magic, the magic of his name, the glory of the divine. So this Nama will be protecting us also, all those people who are chanting this name, all those people who have faith. Yogiji said to Usha Jayakar, if there is Nama in the heart, if there is Nama in the mind, why should there be worry? He also added sometime later, there should be faith. Faith in the heart, faith in the name. The mind that chants the mantra must have faith in the mantra. So we should keep this faith and appeal to Bhagavan. Bhagavan, beloved Bhagavan, I just wanted to share a particular event that took place when I was with Bhagavan. Today is the Pradosham day. From 4:30 to 6 o'clock till 6:30, Shiva, Lord Shiva chose to dance between the two horns of Nandideva. So this reminded me of a particular incident which happened when I went and sat before Bhagavan. Many people would have heard it from me several times before, but it is worth remembering again and again because this must be our sadhana. I went in search of Bhagwan that particular day, the day of Arudra Darshan. And I found the door locked, Sannadi Street house locked. I rushed immediately to the temple, and as soon as I entered, I saw Bhagwan seated on the one side, on the right side, under an Ashwatha tree, under a peepal tree. There was a crowd, as usual, in front of him. And then I stood at a distance for some nod from him. When he made it, immediately I came running and sat in front of him, joined the crowd. At that time, I noticed something else also. Crowds and crowds of people were entering the temple and going straight inside, because that was the day they would do Abhishekam to Lord Nataraja. And there would be special decoration and procession also. So lots and lots of people, crowds of them, were going inside straight. They would not look this side or that side. It made me think. I felt pain because I thought Sri Nataraja has taken a human form, sitting in flesh and blood right in front of me, and we are able to interact with him. We are able to look at him. We get his darshan, sparshan and sambhashan. And without realizing, without knowing this, these people are going straight there inside. Why would they do this? Why wouldn't they realize it? And then suddenly it reminded me it was the day Lord Nataraja chose to dance his cosmic dance for the sake of his intimate disciples and for his divine consort, Parvati. And suddenly, because I looked upon him as Lord Shiva, I blurted out, Bhagwan, today is Arudra Darshan day, the day Lord Shiva chose to dance. Will this Shiva dance for us today? Before I knew, I said it out. I had no idea I was going to voice it out. I used to be afraid even to breathe loudly in his presence. But that day, somehow, something stirred in the depths, and this question came out before I realized. And then, of course, naturally, I was very frightened. I thought I was being very impertinent in asking, and that Bhagwan might choose to send me away. But surprisingly, what happened was just the reverse. Bhagwan gave me a straight glance and said, why not? I never expected this beautiful reply from him. And then I took it very literally and thought Bhagwan was going to dance the cosmic dance of Lord Shiva. I was going to have a wonderful chance of witnessing that. So my mind was completely absorbed in that. And some conversation Bhagwan was making with those people around. And suddenly there was a wild breeze. And then in the breeze, naturally, the leaves of that peepal tree were moving this way and that way, swaying. And Bhagwan's voice boomed, Devki, see, Shiva is dancing. I looked up to see only these leaves moving, swaying in the wind. And I was thinking, my God, what is he saying? It's only the leaves moving in the breeze. Haven't I seen it 100 times before? What of this? Oh, he is trying to say something, okay. Even if I don't understand, I will accept it. He just kept quiet, and then he continued his conversation, little conversations with those people around. And then again I was absorbed in the thought that he was going to dance. And suddenly, again he boomed. He said, Devki, look at the sky. And I looked up. The sky was deep blue, pure deep blue. There was not a single cloud anywhere. And in the background of this deep blue Akash, the sky, 3 white birds in a certain formation were gliding gracefully. It was a beautiful scene. I remembered immediately Had Ramakrishna seen this, he would have gone into samadhi, because I had read about it. It was so beautiful, but then I did not get the point. I was just thinking, okay, it's so beautiful. What of it? What is Bhagavan saying? Shiva is dancing. And suddenly I felt Bhagavan was trying to make a point and I was not getting it. But then I could do nothing about it. And in the meantime, there was a lady who brought a carrier. And she said, Bhagavan, today is a very special day, the day for Lord Nataraja. I remembered you and I made kali for you, the food loved by Lord Nataraja. Will you please take it? She had brought a plant and leaf also. Shri Yogiji said, okay, put the leaf here. He pointed out a place next to him. And then he called me by a gesture to come near. He made me sit there in front of the leaf and he told that lady, you serve her whatever you have brought. I was so afraid because that lady had brought food for Bhagavan and Bhagavan was asking her to serve to somebody so ordinary like me. What would she think? I looked up at her, but there was still a smile lingering on her face. There was no change of expression at all. She instantly knew Bhagavan was playing a leela, was making a point, and then she served as cheerfully as she would do to Bhagavan. That was again a lesson to me. And then after she served the kali and sabji, Bhagavan said, Devki, start eating. I felt a little uneasy because there were so many people around and it was a temple. But then Bhagavan was saying it, I had no choice and I started. Just when I was about to start, I saw a millipede just half foot away from the leaf, coming very fast. It's one of those black things with yellow dots on either side and it moves very fast. You can see it in plenty in the rainy season. And I used to be disgusted with the very sight of it. And that was coming straight towards the food. And suddenly my focus shifted completely. I was looking at it and my fear that it would climb over my food and I wouldn't be able to eat it and I might even vomit. I forgot the presence of Yogiram Saratma. I forgot the idea behind the whole Leela, the demonstration. I forgot Shiva. I forgot Arudra Darshande. I forgot everything else except that millipede that was coming fast towards me. Only the fear held me. And suddenly, Yogiji's voice boomed with a Devki. See, Shiva is dancing. And I knew what he was saying because I was focusing on that. And in that one fraction of a second, something stirred the depths of my being. And my view, my focus changed completely. I saw, believe me, it's a truth, I saw the beauty and the grace of the movement, the dance movement of Lord Shiva in that disgusting creature, or the creature that was disgusting to me before that. Just for a fraction of a second, he knew that I knew, and I knew that he knew that I knew, and suddenly he stopped it, and then he said, Devki, Shiva is dancing all the time. Learn to see it. I understood the point. It was a very beautiful, not just an idea, the truth, a lofty truth behind the whole scene. The demonstration was so arranged, so beautifully to make this point that Shiva is dancing. Every movement that you see in nature is Shiva's dance movement. This is what I understood that day. What a beautiful way of teaching something so lofty. How can anybody forget it? So today is the day to recall this great demonstration, this great Leela. Of course, after that, just at that moment, Lord Nataraja chose to come out, well decorated, and he was going in procession, and the devotees followed him, and Swami got up in one jump. He followed the devotees with raised hand in benediction. What a strange scene it was. Nataraja was moving in the front, and the devotees were moving behind, and Swami was blessing all those devotees from behind. I started to follow him, but whenever he turned, I would go into hiding, because if he should see me and wave his hand for me to go away, I had to do it immediately, and I would miss his darshan. So the whole procession came one round, and suddenly I found him missing. And then I turned this side and that side, and then I found in a corner that there was nobody at all. He was dancing the cosmic dance of Shiva. Physically. Only for a few seconds it lasted. But I had my fill of the cosmic dance of Shiva that day, and also the truth behind it. So, such is the power of our Bhagwan, and let us appeal to his generosity and divine love. We know that it's only a small movement from his hand, and everything would change about the world. So we appeal to him, Bhagwan. Even this virus, now dancing its destructive way into the world, is only a movement from your hand. Now we appeal to you to make another movement, a moment of grace and beauty, to change this completely, free this entire humanity from this destructive seed. We all know that chanting the Nama is one thing. Writing the Nama is also equally powerful, or if not more powerful. It has been a practice in the ashram and outside to write the name. Bhagwan was also fond of that. He used to encourage us to write. Now there are many satsangs in different places, and they have also taken to this practice of writing the name, and they have found out how valuable it is, how helpful in solving our problems. There is one, Sri Anandaraj, a long-term devotee, been coming from the days of Punnaitri, the whole family, father, mother, sister. He is running a satsang in Madurai, and they have this practice of Likita Japa, the Nama writing. He was giving the Nama sheets to all those students who were visiting the satsang from the families of devotees. And then after some time, he asked everyone how they benefited from that. One boy said his handwriting was very bad, that people were making fun, and he was going through many difficulties because of that. But after he started to write the Nama, his handwriting has improved greatly. That all those people who were saying that have stopped it, who were mocking, have stopped it, and there's a new look of appreciation in their eyes. Another girl said that her parents were always fighting at home. There was so much disharmony and a lot of noise, and she was unable to study in peace. But after she started to write the Nama, now there is less and less fight between her parents, and it has almost come to a stop. And there is more peace and harmony at home, that she is able to study better. There was another boy who said his father was jobless, and they were suffering because of that. But after he started to write the name, within a month or two, his father got a job with good salary, and because of which so many benefits they have attained, and there is more relaxation than tension at home. So each one came with certain problem. So in the ashram also we give notebooks to people. We give papers and nama sheets also to people who come here and write. And we see how it benefits us in our everyday life. Now Bhagavan has said, those who chant the nama, they do not have to pray separately. Nama is consciousness, all pervasive, all powerful, all knowing consciousness, the supreme consciousness. So that there is nothing it does not know. In fact, your very thoughts occur in the consciousness. And so the nama instantly knows all your thoughts and prayers, and nama will do the needful. If in the beginning it's very difficult to catch the name, but somehow you persist, and then you take to this chanting and writing the nama, after that, nama catches you. And nama begins to run your life. This is the experience of many devotees. Even though there is no need to make a prayer, the nama knows everything. It is the supreme, and it is Nami himself. We shall make our prayer for our own satisfaction, the mind being what it is. Bhagavan, beloved Bhagavan,